Very good. We're recording. Okay. So thank you all for coming to the session on the Best of the West Media Awards. Now, the subject of this is honoring service to the industry and the community. So I know this is a little bit unusual for what you've seen from the American Advertising Federation in the past. So first, let me tell you what this isn't. This is not like the American Advertising Awards in that this is not honoring artwork, it's not honoring advertising as we know it. And it's also not like other kinds of press awards that might be given away from a press association. So what it is, it's a way of honoring both companies and individuals for doing good works of community service in your own local community. So this competition covers all of the Western region of the United States. So we're looking at how things work in your local community. And we realize, of course, that how you do something in a smaller community is very different on how you do something in a medium-sized or larger community. So our judges will be instructed about looking at, how you fit into your own community and help your own community out beyond just doing good work either through the media or through your agency. So this is the area of the competition. It matches the American Advertising Federation Western region, and it covers all of these states right here. It's all full states. The only partial state there is a little bit of West Texas, including the El Paso area. So this is the area that we're covering. So let's give a few definitions here so you understand. A media outlet in this competition includes radio stations, online or broadcast, television stations, online, cable, or broadcast, newspapers, outdoor companies, magazines, websites, blogs, and podcasts. Now, websites for radio stations and the other media should be entered as a website, and they will be considered separate from the media outlet itself. So for example, if you're a radio station and you have a website as well, you could enter what the radio station does as opposed to what the website does, because you may have certain things that you do on the website or from the website that are different from the station itself. So those are a little bit of a distinction there. By the way, before we continue on, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and write them in the comments and I'll get them at the end. It's difficult for me to see them as I go, so I'll address any kind of questions you have at the end of my talk here. So nominations can be made by anyone via the AAF Western Region website, which is aafwesternregion.org. And self-nominations will be encouraged. And nominations include 3 to 5 questions about the nominee and how they benefit the local community. It's very, very simple. And actually, if you go to the AAF Western Region website, aafwesternregion.org, you could press on any of the entry forms and you could see exactly the questions in advance. So you can spend time thinking about it. And the categories will also allow you to upload examples that might be helpful in saying why you might win an award. So what awards will be presented? So we're going to go through this. First, the company awards. So the eligibility for company awards will be given to companies based in the Western region. Companies located outside the boundaries are eligible only if they have a media outlet that focuses on an area within the boundaries, such as a local newspaper, radio station, or website devoted to an area within the boundaries, or if they have a local bureau in case of radio or television that exclusively covers the area with the boundaries. So let me explain this. So say you're a company that happens to be in Miami, and you have a national paper of Miami, but you might produce a local section for San Francisco, or a local section that covers Colorado, or a local section that is, so how that local section interacts would be eligible, if that makes sense. If anyone has any questions about that, be sure and ask it, and I'll see if I could clarify a little bit more. So here are your company awards. Western Region Radio Broadcaster of the Year. There'll be 3 awards presented for large, mid-sized, and small markets. And we've separated it out so a large market like Los Angeles won't be competing against a smaller market like Colorado Springs. You'll be competing against markets of similar size. So we could hopefully judge you appropriately. Television broadcaster of the year in the 3 tiers as well there. Newspaper of the year. And newspapers we divided by circulation as opposed to by market size. And the reason why we did that is because a lot of times there are smaller papers within a larger market. You may have local community papers. You may have a specialty paper that concentrates on a particular language or ethnicity or that type of thing. So we thought that by dividing it by circulation, that more defined will help keep people on an even playing field. Outdoor company of the year. These are billboards, bus shelters, that type of thing. Western Region Magazine of the year. We did not separate this out. Website of the year. Again, something we did not separate out. Blog podcaster of the year. Here's a Western Region Advertising Agency of the year, and here we divided it by billings. So sometimes the market that you're in doesn't really indicate the size of your agency. So we tried to divide it up by agency size. So that way you're competing against similar size agencies. Western Region Media Agency of the year, as opposed to an advertising agency, this will be a media agency, same kind of separated by billings. Governmental Media Outlet of the year. Now, a lot of you folks that have markets, they have, excuse me while I'm stuttering here a little bit, but a lot of times cities, counties, water districts, other kinds of jurisdictions will have newsletters, magazines, and they might have their own radio, television station, or internet. So a governmental media outlet would be another thing that we're looking to honor. Western Region Locally Produced Radio TV Show of the Year. Again, this is not a nationally produced show or for national consumption, it's locally. So if you're in Idaho Falls and you're doing a, Good Morning Idaho Falls, or you're doing a local radio show that addresses your particular audience, that's what we're looking to honor there. Western Region Public Service Campaign or Event of the Year. This is something in particular, a campaign or event that you did in the community that really helped to benefit the community. For example, there's fires all over the Western Region right now. And so if your agency or your media outlet did something to help the people who lived in the fire devastated areas, or collected money to replant trees, or whatever you did as a campaign or a specific event to help in your area. It doesn't have to be fires, of course. It could be any kind of public service campaign or event. This is something we're looking to honor. Again, the whole thing is about good works in the community. Western Region Best Coverage of a Local News Story of the Year. This could be anything that happened in your local market. It could be anything from the school board to the city council to an event that may have happened. Just the best coverage of the local news story. And this could be coverage over a longer period of time, where it might be one article or one story as opposed to an entire group of stories. Here are some individual awards. Eligibility for an individual award will be given to individuals who serve an area within the Western Region, regardless where they're based, as long as that's their primary responsibility and the distribution occurs within the Western Region. So as an example, say you're based in Chicago, however, you cover California state politics in Sacramento, and that is your primary beat, is the Sacramento political scene, and you cover it, and it's distributed within the Sacramento area, then you would qualify for that. Other than that, you need to be based in the Western Region and doing work in the Western Region. So the Western Region Media Professional of the Year, these are people who are not writers, reporters, on-air talent, photographers, etc. This will be people who work in sales, administration, promotions, editors, management, etc. And the reason why we separated this out from the writers and reporters is that it's a little bit different when someone who's a notable talent in the area does something, as opposed to a behind the scenes person. So we decided to do that out. And those people will be Media Talent of the Year. Those would be your writers, reporters, honor talent, photographers, that type of thing. Western Region Agency Professional of the Year. These are people who work for advertising agencies. Young Achiever Award. This will be those who are 32 years old or younger. And if you enter in this one, we ask that you do not also enter in agency, the one previous one I said. Don't enter in this one, you enter in that one. We have some student awards available as well. The student awards are for those outlets or students who cover either their school or a broader area within the competition boundaries. Those outlets such as school newspapers, radio stations, television stations, other than broadcast television, internet sites and blogs. They do not necessarily have to be sanctioned or approved by the school. Student awards are intended for those who attend a college or university within the boundary area, and the media outlet does not have paid employees other than those who sell advertising. And while advisors may be involved, the majority of day-to-day editorial decisions must be made by students and not the advisor. So what we tried to divide out here is, for example, a lot of schools might have a national public radio station or might have a PBS station that the school owns. And those are generally handled by professionals in the industry. And we're not looking to honor those necessarily. Now, if a student produces a show on those stations, then yes, that would be fine, and that type of thing. But we're really looking for, student-run radio stations and student-run television stations, and the students make the decisions. They're the editors, they're producers, they're the on-air talent. It's really a student thing. Now, as far as things like newspapers and radio stations not sanctioned or approved by the school, let me give you an example of something that happened at the university that I went to. At the university I went to, there happened to be a friend of mine, actually, who thought that the school paper did a really rotten job of covering school sports. So he created his own newspaper that covered school sports, distributed once a week, sold the advertising, shot the pictures, wrote the articles, did the whole thing, and he produced a student paper. It was about the school, it was distributed on the school, but it wasn't sanctioned by the school, if you follow me. And it could cover other things that students do, such as internet sites and blogs that might cover, any subject that might be of interest to them, not necessarily the school. So we have the Western Region Best College Media Outlet of the Year that covers radio, television, and newspapers. Western Region Best College Website or Blog of the Year. Best Student Media Representative of the Year as well. So here's the website where you could go and do it, the aafwesternregion.org, like I mentioned. There'll be two things there, the Western Region Conference, which is coming up this week. If anyone would like to attend the Western Region Conference, by all means, it's in Las Vegas. Should be lots of fun. I encourage you to go there and sign up for that. But if you're interested just in the media awards, you can press that link there and you'll be able to get all sorts of interesting information. So this is what the Best of the West Media Awards looks like. You can download an entry information package. It's quite lengthy. That gives further descriptions of what I was talking about, defines things, puts it all in writing. That might be really helpful to you. The only thing that's incorrect in there would be the date. We have extended the entry date through this Friday. So it had the entry date last Friday, but as we got started a little bit late with this, we decided to extend the entries to this Friday. So we encourage you to get those out there right away. And also, just between you and me, if you're a little bit late into next week, we'll probably go ahead and take those as well. So don't stress about this Friday, but as we go into next week, we got to get these things in here and move on. So we're not competing against other things that the clubs are doing around the Western region. So nominations open September 8th, which they were open, and deadline, as I said, is the 15th, but we'll give you a couple extra days after that if you need that. Judging period will be through the end of the month. And the judges that we will be using will be all out of the Western region. We will have media professionals from other parts of the country, and hopefully have no association with any of the entrants here in the Western region. We'll announce the finalists that November 1st is a little soft November 1st. It might be a couple of days after that, but thereabouts. And then we'll have an online presentation where we'll announce the winners from the finalists on November 18th. That's an approximate date again. All dates are subject to change because we're most interested in doing this well than doing this perfectly according to a schedule. So that's our goal here. So to enter, the professional nominations are only $45. Student nominations are $35. We encourage you to nominate yourself. We have no trouble with that. Nominate the people you work with, nominate people at another company that you don't work with, but they're interested in. So you could see all that and answer those questions online. Here's again what it looks like. You could find these different places on the website, hit the Enter Now button, and then you'll get to here and just answer the questions. It's a really simple entry process. So the real key here is filling out these boxes here. In every category, these questions are slightly different. So this is for a radio broadcaster of the year, but depending on the category you're interested in entering, these questions might be different. But state how the outlet has engaged its local audience to have a positive impact on the community. State how the outlet provides innovation to help grow the advertising or radio industry. And show how the outlet has been involved in benefiting civic and community service. And then you have a chance to upload samples there. As I mentioned, judges will be from outside, and we're looking for a broad variety of people. So so that way we're having just a wide access of people looking at these things. So each question will be scored on a basis of 1 to 10. 3 to 5 nominees with the top overall scores in each category will be named as a finalist. Each category will be presented Academy Awards style. That will announce each of the finalists, their accomplishments, why they were, how they became a finalist, and then we'll open the envelope and announce who the winners are. And then the awards, since we're all over the West, will be mailed to you on the day of the gala, so you should receive them within a few of the days of the gala. We'll know who won before you know who won, so we'll have the opportunity to prepare all of the awards and have them ready to go. So you should have them very shortly after the announcements are made. So now we're gonna look at some questions. I've kind of go over everything. I'm gonna look at the chat box. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box. Rick says, I noticed on the downloadable PDF rules and categories that the date's scheduled to be wrong. Yes, I did mention that. Yes, the date is October 15th, and we're going to be negotiable on that as well. Do entrants get to see the 3 questions before deciding who to nominate someone? Yes, you could go on their website right now and you could look at the questions and then leave and then come back. You don't have to sign up or register to look at those questions. So go to whatever category you want, press on the link, and you could see all that in advance. Can you submit a nomination to both the Advertising Agency of the Year and Media Advertising of the Year category? It really depends on what your agency is. And so, you know, if you're an agency that does both, we're asking you to pick one. And if you're an agency that has like a sister agency that does different things, then yes, you could go both ways. But really pick one in that regards. Let's see. In the submissions, I don't see a place to put a web address for examples or an upload. How do you submit it at all? Okay, so what we'd like for you to do there is go ahead, and I know it's not ideal, but it's what we're working with at this very moment. Let's just say that right up front, is go ahead on in either the written descriptions of your answers, go ahead and place it in there, or if you'd like to place it on a blank piece of, not a blank piece of paper, but a blank file, and upload that file with the URL name on it, then that would be fine. So either way, however you want to get it in there is great. Just get it one way or the other. When was the last year these were offered? Okay, so this is a brand new awards presentation for the Western region. This was done in a local market for a few years in Southern California, and it was successful in those years. And so the Western region, with the understanding of the local market, decided to go ahead and expand it to a Western region thing and kind of expand the whole competition. So it's happened a couple of times in Southern California. The questions for the following categories are the same for agency or media. Anything we should keep in mind as we answer these questions for the specific categories, how they're being scored. I think I answered the score, they're 1 to 10, but what we're instructing the judges to do, the goal of this is to see how you work in the community, what you do for the community. This is more than just you do great work and you won awards for your, for your graphic design or for your media that you placed or anything like that. We're really looking at how you interact with the community, how you benefit the community, the things that you've done with them. Have you worked with, helping, children that are hungry? Do you look at, as I mentioned earlier, helping people devastated by the wildfires? How have you helped people during the pandemic? Whatever it might be, we want to see how you've interacted with your community, and that's what we're really honoring here, is people who do good work in the community. How many words in this response do you recommend? I recommend as many words as it takes for you to accurately respond to the question. We're not looking for a book here, but on the other hand, don't short sell yourself. So, be clear, we did this, and this. If you want to talk about the results a little bit in there, you could certainly do that. But there is no recommendation on specific words. It's whatever you think answers the question well. And that could be a shorter answer, it could be a longer answer, totally up to you. I have a weekly community program I stream on Facebook Live. Would I put that under the podcast category? Yes, go ahead. And by the way, if you enter something in what we consider the wrong category, we'll just move it to the right category, or we'll judge it accordingly. And if it doesn't quite fit anything exactly, what we'll probably do is put you where it best fits. And then next year, and when you hopefully do this again, we'll make sure that we have a category that accurately reflects that thing. So that would be a fine place to put it. I saw a trophy for Best of the West at Colin Weber back in the 1990s. Okay, so back in the 1990s, AAF Western Region had a Best of the West program, and that was specifically about advertising. And when we decided to bring this back, we decided not to do anything that conflicted with the American Advertising Awards in AAF. So the Western Region discontinued that Best in the West, but we kind of took over the name, so to speak, and then applied it to this competition instead of that one. So yes, it was, but it was for something completely different than what we're doing now. Would trade publications websites be included? For example, our magazine is only for travel agents who are best in Western, not a wider community. So yes, they would be included. So no, not a problem at all. It doesn't have to be for the general public. It could be a specific audience. But again, we're looking for how you relate with the local community and the benefits that you have for them. And if your benefits, for example, are more geared specifically towards, for example, travel agents, we're looking again, how you benefit them. Maybe something happened during COVID where travel agents had a hard time, and so you did something to benefit them during this period of time. That's the kind of thing that we're looking for. Again, this is all about service. So that's our big things. Keep that in mind as you fill out these questions. Fill out the questions. Is there a recommended or word limit response? No, I just answered that question. Will an email be sent announcing the winner? Yes, we will be doing. We'll be announcing finalists, then we'll be announcing winners, and after that time, the email will be sent after the online gala. So the online gala will be the fastest way to get the answer, and the email will be sent after that. Great, thank you. Great, you're welcome. So how to choose between media agency and advertising agency categories. If your agency does both, I will leave that up to you on how to choose, wherever you think that you best fit, or wherever you think you have the best chance of winning, which of course you don't know. So, but we will leave that decision totally up to you. Trying to move down here, or is that all my questions? looks like that is all. Does anyone have any other questions I could answer for you? A lot more questions than I typically get when these things. I'm glad to see that. Can you get a copy of the recording? Yes. What I will do is I will post the recording somewhere, and I will send out an email that will allow everyone to access it. I don't know about download it. I'm not, to be completely honest with you, fully sure about how Zoom records these things and the size of it, but I know it will be either available for email or posting, then you could download. So we'll figure that out, and we'll get that done hopefully today, so we can get that, you know, to everybody. Can you submit links? Yes, I did answer that, but let me answer it on. It's not in the application. It was an oversight. We're not able to correct it at that time. So yeah, so either put the links inside the written description answers. So you have, like, generally speaking, you have 3 to 4 places to answer questions. You could put your links there, or you could, you know, type your link on a file and upload the file. Whichever is easiest for you. Either way is okay. This will be addressed in future years, but again, we're kind of stuck where we are for this year for right now. Can we upload the recording to our YouTube and share the link on our site and with you to socialize? Yes, that would be fine. That's not a problem. The Zoom has started rendering it immediately. It'll be ready for a folder location within 4 minutes. I Zoom with my mom. Oh, I'm sure your mom is thrilled that you do that. So yes, that would be fine. So so if it's 140 megabytes, what I'll probably do is I will post it somewhere, perhaps on a YouTube page or something where people could view it, download it, however we go. AAF Seattle, thank you, AAF Seattle. We appreciate that. I'll probably just go ahead and post it up at YouTube as I'm thinking this through, because then it's easiest for everybody to get to, and I get to send out that link. And I could get it done like immediately. Okay, well, feel free to put it on your YouTube as well. The more places, the better. So we're good. Anyone else have any other questions? We're good. Thank you all so very, very much. If you have any further questions, there's a place on the website where you can send in email questions. I'll be happy to answer those. Talk to your local club as well. They could probably answer those. If they can't, go ahead and send the email to the place on the website. And we really appreciate you attending. We hope that you enter, both yourselves, your coworkers, your friends, your companies, and everything else. Thank you all very, very much, and good luck.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.